Previously on The Big Break.
Early.
Knock, knock.
I was running late this morning. Oh, my goodness. I've never had my sexy body on television.
At the course, it would be a short game showdown.
It's down to 9 now, you know? Could be any one of us at any time.
Collars are getting tighter, man. You know, we're all buddies, but someone's going home.
Everyone was saying, look at John, look at John, look at John. We looked over and he was just sinking every single one.
You know, I thought I did good until I heard John score. I turned around, they put a 35 up there. I'm like...
With elimination on the line, tempers flared.
Hit the tee marker. I mean, that's the only thing I could do. And I do got a problem with that. I want to bring it up.
And Charles struggled.
Just go home, Charles. Mathematically eliminated.
Charles' exit left 8 men to battle it out for the 4 Canadian Tour exemptions and their big break.
I'm tired of guessing. What the next challenge is. Let's just get out there. And, I would like to go back and hit some golf balls, maybe. That might be nice.
Surprise comes every half hour. It seems like something new and exciting. It just keeps us on our toes. It's great.
I wonder if they're going to incorporate some animals, you know, some zoo animals into these, like
Have little
hit over an elephant or something, you know. I mean, who knows what they're going to do for us here.
I think they have to get away from or start moving away from the short game a little bit. Probably get into some more fuller shots, I think.
I think they're going to go with putting.
They haven't hit that.
They haven't done driving, I think, to open the show.
Yeah, we haven't putted.
Because it's the most exciting private viewers. And we've done short game and mid-range golf shots. I think we're probably going to end up putting this afternoon.
We don't know what's going to happen as far as the challenges go. And, you know, it's such a difference. You go warm up in the driving range and then we end up on a green, you know, so that's kind of sucks.
They're going to have us putting down there with a little ramp, and they're going to have it 1, 3, 5 or something in the middle.
My money's on Justin. That's a good game.
I knew it was going to be something, but the way the day unfolded, it was definitely not what I had expected.
And now we're getting into the groove of we kind of know what to expect. We know it's going to be a challenge first. Somebody's going to get the mulligan and a nice prize, and then we go on to the elimination. So we're kind of in a groove. We've been doing it for the past couple of days.
On the range, some guys were hitting it a little bit crooked, so we're all getting together and, you know, trying to help some people out to try to get them to hit straight. You know, I think we got a great group of guys that we, you know, kind of cheer for one another or help one another out.
Every one of these guys is my competitor, but every single one of these guys has spent time with me on the range and worked with me on the shots. The guys that actually put a lot of time in. Now that's a really important thing when you really think back to the process. I'm their competitor. I'm the guy they're trying to knock out. You see guys up there standing up, trying to get me through, you know, the best they can. And, you know, we're patching it together, I think, a lot better than what it was early on.
Here they come. Yeah.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Come on over.
Welcome back.
How you guys feeling?
Good. Are you feeling some heat? I mean, we felt a little heat in the last show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're just whittling down to where there's going to be one person left.
feel a little more pressure, can't you?
Well, for the Canadian, you know, to have those exemptions is just, it's big for these guys. And these guys can play. And I think it's that opportunity that they've always wanted. And as we know, it's a little bit more difficult to get out on tour and to have those opportunities. And I think it's fantastic that you guys are, you know, you're fighting hard. What's your objective? Is it just to focus on what you have to do and just do the best you can? Is that how you're still?
That's all I think that's the only way you can. We don't know what the objective. I mean, we know what the objective is, but we don't know what we're doing today. Right. So I kind of wait till we get there and then kind of think about the shot.
Well, wait till you see what we got for you today, guys.
It's going to be a fun show. Very fun show.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
Looking down to that next challenge, we didn't know what it was. You know, we saw the board, you know, where we're going to hit it over, but the problem is, I thought that was a scoreboard.
You guys have your 2-irons?
We saw you guys down in the woods. We were up on the range at the top. You know, the way the range is set up, we were thinking it was some kind of escape from the woods or something.
All right, so we're going to tell you about the next skills challenge. It's a flop shot wall challenge. The wall is 8 feet high, and you're going to have 2 shots that you're going to hit consecutively over the wall from somewhere between these markers. Yeah, hopefully.
Each player will hit 2 shots over the wall to a pin on the green. The 3 players with the best shots in round 1 will advance to the second round. From there, 2 players will advance to the final round, where they will compete for the all-important mulligan.
So not only will you win the skills challenge, but you'll win the mulligan, which will be so important, as we've seen in the last shows, for the elimination challenge. And we also have 2 mountain bikes for you guys.
I thought it was great. I mean, I practice those kind of flop shots all the time. I love it. And it was a little difficult being first because, you know, in a way, it's good to go first because you can post a number.
Come back. Come back.
I didn't hit a real good shot. You know, it was 8 feet, 9 inches or something like that, and just didn't gauge the distance correctly. You know, the lies weren't good. Even though we could place it, the grass down there was a little scraggly. It was hard to get the ball to sit up.
Get out. Right to it. Go right to it. Great job, Good job.
My line was pretty good on the second one. And, you know, I didn't know. You know, I mean, sometimes, you know, that might have been good enough or it might not.
Looking down to that next challenge, we didn't know what it was. You know, we saw the board, you know, where we're going to hit it over, but the problem is, I thought that was a scoreboard. I didn't know it was the wall that we're going to have to hit high lob shots.
Good ball.
Thanks.
We learned it was the extreme flop shot, and I'm thinking, cha-ching, that's me. I practiced that flop shot a lot just to get warmed up. Where we were hitting from was actually a little lower, so the wall seemed that much higher to us. And if you look, we were going over a wall, we were going to a pin tucked in the front of a green.
All right.
That's a good job.
Good job, Craig.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Thanks. I felt my objective on the initial shot was to get it over the wall. In the short game, I've always been strong with the short game. Chipping around the greens, not necessarily chipping over walls, but chipping around greens, getting up and down.
There you go. Oh, that's great. Good shot.
Good shot, Jeff. Well done, Jeff.
2 feet, 11 inches.
Woo! Very nice.
Good job.
Thanks, Thanks, man.
I kind of jumped.
was nothing. You feel good on that one.
I don't think you like it.
No. I never could find a good lie. No. Well, that was the big break right there.
Did you feel like you couldn't slide the club under the ball?
Well, at the last minute, I didn't think I could get it under the ball, and that's why I tried to.
You tried to add something
Tried to add
and actually
something
hit
at
it on
the
the bottom of the
and I
club.
belted it. Yeah.
I hit a lot of good flop shots, and I wasn't expecting to win, but I was expecting to make it out of the first round. Good shots. I mean, that last one, solid.
What I really liked was how you laid it open, you went back, you turned your body, but you really did a good job here with the release.
I tried to saw it off.
You saw it off this way. It's like a, and that really helps create more speed and get the ball up.
That was good.
There you go.
That was excellent. You just bumped Craig out. Yeah.
I'm going to be really honest with you. I saw that wall and I thought, piece of cake. The one thing we do back at the bunkhouse all the time is, you know, in the morning, in the afternoon, whatever, we're setting up these stupid shots and we're chipping them up on the roof and we're, you know, hitting them into buckets. I'm out there doing those exact shots over and over again. I was very confident heading into it.
Come all the way back.
All the way back.
All the way back.
Go. Come on. Spin. Come on. Come to it.
Still juicy.
You know, this is the first time I've hit this. Is it? Since I've been here.
Wow, that's a great shot.
Good.
Actually, it's Jeff, it's Mark, and it's Anthony. We've just bumped Randy.
That flop shot was unbelievable. That was, to get over the first wall was a feat in itself, because, you know, there's some basic mechanics that you got to achieve to pull that shot off. I went last, you know, and to be honest, I mean, I'll be truthfully honest, I didn't think that I was gonna hit it within 5 feet or 4 feet. And I just executed the shot the best way I could, you know, possible to do it. And I got really successful. I think I hit it to like a foot, I don't know how many inches. And it allowed me to go into that second round.
This will go a little bit.
Rick, I had a funny feeling you're gonna do that.
Why did you know that?
I was just lucky to come out with my head, with my teeth still intact. That was scary. Do not try this at home.
John, Jeff, and Mark have advanced to round 2, where a surprise awaits.
Here. John, come on in. You're first to hit. Okay. I'm gonna just do something here, though, if you don't mind. This will go a little bit.
Rick, I had a funny feeling you're gonna do that.
Why did you know that? Guys, can you help me from behind as well? All right, we're not quite done yet. These things are really heavy.
We'd like to spice this up a little bit, make the challenge a little more difficult.
All right.
Once they raised that wall up, I mean, I thought to myself, good Lord, I can't, and it's impossible to hit over that wall.
Well, it's grown a little bit, but there's nothing you can't handle. All right.
No, I was very confident heading into it. That being said, when wall 2 went up, completely different thing. I mean, it just, I think it psyched guys out a little bit.
We should come in helmets on.
Great shot. Good shot. Great job. Good job. Well done.
Oh, that's really good.
Nice.
Excellent
shot.
shot.
Good ball, man.
That thing came down and didn't even think about moving. You weren't bothered by that. No big deal, huh?
It's the motion's more everything in that shot, I think.
You see the speed changes, doesn't it? You need the speed to get the loft.
Yep.
Good swing, though,
You're
also.
painting the wall with some dirt.
My new art.
Yeah. Okay, so Mark, you're up next.
Mark, you're the man.
If it won't get far, I'm done.
And, you know, strategy came into play again. And I I wasn't joking with Rick when I looked at that shot and I stepped around and I walked to the back and I looked and I remember that big slope on the back of that green. I thought again, hit a hard, you know, you can't hook a lob, but you can hood the front of it and then scoop under it. And I thought, just make sure it's left no matter what. And far, it's gonna either hit that slope and come back or it'll land short and it's gonna look like a, you know, beautiful shot.
Oh,
Come back, baby.
too much.
Come on.
Oh, my.
Come on.
Oh, my. Look at this shot.
That. Oh my God, it's going in. Oh.
Wait a second. I'll never question you again.
Unbelievable. You know, Rick, let me show you how to hit this shot.
I was going to say, that strategy was, I haven't seen that one yet.
Two of them.
Come on, Rudolph.
Oh, get down.
Well, that could be good.
Come on.
Coming back with some speed.
You know what's interesting is that a little to the left.
Yeah,
It's coming back down.
Right down.
Okay.
Good shot, Jeff. Bad.
At least it didn't hit me in the head.
Or anyone else.
What was that?
They'll interpret.
That was that little Georgia draw.
All right. You know, you did that on
That's
purpose,
from
didn't you?
pitching softball, buddy. I'm out of the way.
Now, did you wish you had a helmet?
Oh, my God. I nailed it, man. I was just lucky to come out with my head with my teeth still intact. That was scary. You never want to do that. Do not try this at home.
Measurement, negative 80 feet.
Okay. All right. Mark and John.
Mark and
Moving
John.
on to round 3.
Oh, yeah, that's tough, man.
I thought, okay, don't think about the shot at all. Put the ball down on the ground, open the face, swing hard. It will go straight up in the air and drop down.
He sees me every morning. I'll do probably anywhere from either an hour to 45 minutes of cardio to stay limber. Cardio really keeps the muscle nice and loose without really getting too tight. One of the great things for me is, as far as working out, is I used to weigh 295 pounds. Once I started working out, it's almost like a drug. It's something that became part of my lifestyle. Mainly it's all golf oriented. Mainly shoulders, back, to help make yourself stronger. It's a weighted club. And what I try to do is I try to keep myself centered as much as possible. And then when I try to move the weight, I try to almost pretend like I'm swinging the club, and I want to kind of keep my weight in the middle and not, quick and fancy, but just trying to keep it smooth and feel my weight shift to the left and then back to the right. Just give yourself more of an opportunity to play better golf. I might not be alive to make it to the next series if it gets any taller.
We're going to see how much flip you have in your flop.
Yeah.
All right. Look at this. We got another.
Hey, Jeff.
Another extension here.
I'm glad it's you guys.
These other guys have no problem not being in this for some reason.
So John and Mark, we're looking at 12 feet now.
Now in the NBA, if they ever take the hoop up that high, that's how high that would be. That would be a high 12. You think you could stuff it?
I don't know.
Can you hit a wedge over it?
Maybe.
Do you have the lob?
Yeah.
Or just a 56 laid open?
Just got the 6. I have the lob.
Mark, what do you have?
I've moved to the lob from
Now, if you'd have gone to a 6 or 7, I would have been blown away.
Yeah.
But knowing you, I never know what you're going to
You
get.
never know. I was just thinking maybe I could slice it around there.
Yeah. They're watching
Fade it.
the back camera. It's like a goalpost.
All right.
Guys.
Step up, John.
Oh, the third section was even worse. When the pressure's there, it's just a different story. And to see something that tall from that close, you really had to be the viewers. You'd have to be there just to experience that feeling.
Oh,
All right.
cleared it. Oh, that's a good shot there.
Great shot.
A lot of speed. He wasn't afraid of it. That was good.
Like 5 feet.
Good technique there. That was nice.
He's going to get a nice block.
He's talking to himself.
He doesn't know about it, does he?
little soft touch, huh?
It's good.
Catch it.
Now, if you'd have caught that also, that would have been an extra point. Good job, Johnny.
And the second time, you can see it. I hung back on it, kind of flipped it a little bit, straight into the wall. Straight into the wall. So it, tell you what, it'll wake you up real quick. It will wake you up.
All right, Mark.
When that wall went up again, all of a sudden, you know, the sort of processing kind of left me a little bit, and I thought, okay, don't think about the shot at all. The plan is this: put the ball down on the ground, open the face, swing hard. It will go straight up in the air and drop down.
Oh, look at this shot.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Look at this shot.
Awesome.
He
Great
says,
job.
never underestimate my ability.
Wow.
Well,
The moose is on fire.
We don't need no more.
I think maybe the most surprised person at that moment was probably Rick Smith. You know, after seeing some of the shots that he's seen me hit, it was pretty funny. I was really pumped up after that.
4 feet 7 inches.
Great shot.
Awesome.
Great shot.
Congratulations. You won the
You got the
challenge,
mulligan.
the mulligan,
That's big.
and the mountain bikes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And now we
Great.
go to the elimination.
Be a long driving contest.
Golf is a game of, you know, it's flowing emotions. Things go up, things go down. But in a skills challenge, you win a skills challenge, you go right up. The moment that's done, guess what? Clean slate for everybody, right back to where you started. And you know what? It's an elimination challenge. So next thing you know, you're on the line again.
I didn't go through my pre-shot routine. I just wanted to go. I thought, you're good at this. Just get it done. Get out of here. And then I shoved it left. I'm like, all right, let's slow down. Let's breathe.
Take a deep breath.
Hey, guys.
Hey guys,
How you
how are
doing?
you?
How are you? You guys
Nice
ready?
to see you. We've got a great challenge for you right now. This is the mid to long iron challenge for you. And we are 210 from the hole here. Each guy is gonna have 3 shots, consecutive shots, to get as close to the pin as possible. And the way that we're gonna score this is the square that's closest to the pin is worth 3 points. The square beyond that is worth 2. If you hit the green, it's worth 1 point, and if you're off the green, it's 0. Real simple equation. We're gonna add up all the points, and the guy with the least amount of points is going home.
When you look at it, you're seeing a bunker that's well short of the green. There's a little deception here. It's actually 190 to the front edge. You can actually hit it short and roll it up, or you can fly it just short of the flag and then let it roll back down to the flagstick. So it's a pretty hole, and it's time to really hit an iron that you think that you can get it closest to those cubes out there.
Each player will hit 3 shots to a target 210 yards away. The targets are marked with different point values. 3 points for the inner target, 2 points for the middle target, and a single point for anywhere on the green. The player with the least amount of points will be eliminated.
Jeff, you ready to go?
Yep, good old lucky number 1.
All right, step up. You've got 3 shots.
It's a scary thought when you're drawing number
Good luck,
1 and
Jeff.
you got a
Thank you.
210-yard approach shot into a green, and it's boiling down to, 1, 2, 3 shots, which is the difference between continuing on the next day or getting out of here and going home. I did a little heavy breathing. Took a practice swing, and I just let it rip.
There you go.
And it came out perfect. I mean, I nailed the 4-iron. So I was thankful after I got that first ball on the green. I knew it was going to be difficult.
Good shot, Jeff.
The other 2 was right on line, and the wind came up, and Rick said, those were all 3 great shots because I had it right on line left of the target.
There you go.
And they came up just a little short. I had, you know, didn't quite make the green. I was right on the fringe, but that didn't count.
Mark, you're up.
I can't hit the long irons as well as some of these guys, so I use these rescue clubs. So it's a bit like the no wood anyways.
I can tell you I have never been more confident over a shot. I'll be honest, I thought I could get, 6 or 6, 8, 9 points. I really thought that when I was standing on the tees.
Turn over. Kick right. That's the way.
I didn't even think of the mulligan. Wasn't even thinking about having it.
You can use it now. I will use my mulligan now.
It's a mulligan!
Thank God somebody reminded me after the fact because I really didn't think about it. That just suits my eye a lot better. I knew the distance pretty well. I thought I could hit that utility wood up there, with a high cut shot. And it was going to land soft, near the green.
Cut right through.
I didn't go through my pre-shot routine. I just wanted to go. I thought, you're good at this. Just get it done. Get out of here. And then I chubbed it left. I'm like, all right, let's slow down. Let's breathe.
You need to take a deep breath.
You don't want to look silly. You want to hit a good golf shot. And honestly, hitting that kind of yardage is like hitting drives and hitting good middle to long iron shots was what I'm really the best at. My stomach was just like, ugh. I thought I was gonna die. And the third one was money. I mean, I flew it right over top of the flag stick. It's just too much club. I was bummed out. I wanted to throw a dart. I mean, I wanted to stick one in there.
That's a big shot. Big shot.
Good shot, Anthony.
I thought to myself, hey, you've been here before. You got to pull this one off. It's 3 balls, 1 shot. And when your brain thinks about that, you tighten up.
With 2 points, Mark and Jeff have guaranteed that they're moving on to the next show. But the future of Anthony is not so certain, as he will have to wait it out while the final competitors hit their shots.
Come on, talk, Joe.
I was nervous on the first one because these are all good players. I mean, they're not going to be bombing it all over the place. So after watching everybody, you get the range, you get to see what they're hitting, and it makes it a lot easier.
You don't practice the long irons as much as you practice the short game and driving the ball, but I knew I knew this shot was coming. So I said, as soon as I saw this, I said, well, I might be out of here now.
All right.
3 zips.
All right.
It's okay. It's never over till it's over. No, I know.
Oh, come on now.
It wasn't the Masters, it wasn't US Open, but, hey, if you don't get a chip shot after that shot, you don't get a chance to, maybe get up and down somewhere. It's 1 shot. It's 3 balls, 1 shot. I mean, and when your brain thinks about that, you tighten up. My first shot went right. The pressure's on you so immense. I mean, you can see, I guess some players handle it better than others. And 210 yards, I got 5 iron in my hand. The only thing I'm thinking is knock down, middle of the green, keep it simple.
Come on, John.
Come on, dude. Just like on the range.
Relax. Good swing now.
Just like on the range.
Good swing, Clark. Just put the pass on it.
My second shot pulled left. And I thought to myself, you know, hey, you've been here before. You got to pull this one off. You got to trust yourself. You got to breathe. I went through my little pre-shot routine real quick. And that allowed me just to, you know, get my body to work in a proper rotation to get the club on plane, to kind of get the ball started on the green. That's the only thing that saved me. That's the only thing that saved me today. I got very lucky getting to that final round. Very lucky.
I was actually just warming up with like a good solid 5-iron for most of my warm-up shots. I figured, well, I can go down from there, I can go up from there. At, you know, middle of my bag, I should be good. I was pleased with it. I was ready.
Draw. Come on, draw. Turnover.
That draws a little bit more.
Kick him right. Kick him right. There you go. Kick him right. Now run up. Run up.
The first 2 swings I made were pretty good. And they just missed left. I think maybe I just wasn't releasing. I was a little tight with my hands a little bit, but I made 2 good swings. And then I switched clubs. I went from a 4-iron to a 3-iron. That one got away from me a little left, and I'm thinking, uh-oh. There was already a guy up on the board with 0. At least I know I'm not the one going home yet.
It's pretty grueling. I mean, you know, to wait for 15, 20, 30 minutes to take your next shot, and then you got to perform, that's rough. Because, you know, I think everybody here thinks they have game to make it. And you just want to do the best that you can. I think ball striking is the best thing. So I was pretty confident that, you know, my first shot was going to hit the green, and I wouldn't have to hit my other 2 balls. But I didn't calculate the yardage too right, and I overclubbed myself. I went down a club to 6-iron from 210.
Right on. Unbelievable.
Got me a little 3-pointer, and it all worked out. It was a big weight off my shoulders.
It's a lot of pressure with those cameras around and having to hit shots, you know, under the gun. You know, a lot of people can hit shots, you know, when you don't need to, but it's a lot of pressure. I mean, it's something that none of us have really had to do. I love the atmosphere. I mean, I strive for that, you know, because I want to play at the highest level and I want to win multiple tournaments on the PGA Tour someday. And, you know, you have to be able to deal with crowds and cameras. The first swing, I thought it was going to be a little 4-iron. I hit it really solid. I just hit a little left. And so then I switched back to the 5-iron and hit the 5-iron. It caught a little thin, but I knew it was 190 to the front, 210 to the pin. And when I hit it, it was right on line.
There it is. Good shot, Justin. Good swing. That's
Very nice
tight.
shot, Justin.
I think does it stop rolling? It looks tight. Good shot.
Okay.
All right, guys. It looks like playoff time.
We've got a playoff.
We got a playoff.
I knew the situation that was coming up. It was going to be a playoff, and that got to me.
I don't even know if it's nerves to advance or just nerves to not embarrass yourself.
Craig, what are you going to be doing differently now?
Not much, just fine little adjustments. I made 3 pretty good swings.
Yeah?
Yeah, you did. You just missed the green left. Yeah. And anything a little bit to the right of that would have released down the ridge, so you really weren't that far off. And
right.
Steve, what's your feeling? You're just going to relax and let it rip?
To the old man's club, because that's what I am. And I'm going to try to hit it straight at the middle of the green, that's all.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
Okay.
Do you guys draw, and Craig's going first?
Yes.
Okay.
Got into the second round, and I drew first. And I was feeling pretty good, like I said, about myself. I didn't think I made a real bad swing of the first 3. The shot fit my eye, which is an important thing. A lot of guys were saying, well, I didn't like the way the shot looked. I liked the way the shot looked.
Oh. He overcooked that.
I wouldn't want to put myself in that situation, but I can imagine the pressure was immense.
second one, I finally made the swing I was imagining in my head and I was feeling in my body and I wanted to make, and I put it right on the line I was looking at.
Good shot.
Got down after that one.
And then the third one, I just got a little aggressive, went down, kind of got behind the ball.
It's all right. You put a couple on the board. Steve, you know what you have to do, buddy.
Come on, talk show.
In any type of a situation, a competitive, you like to root for somebody. You know, when you're rooting for two guys, you know, there's no favorites. You know, you don't have a personal favorite. This is a very equal group of guys that are here. You just wanted to see both guys put good passes. You know what? I wanted to stay there until it turned blackout. I wanted them to both just keep hitting the ball on the dime. I wanted you guys to get upset because the light was starting to disappear, and you know you were just going to have to keep both of them until tomorrow. You know, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but you know, in your heart, that's what you want.
When you get in front of the camera, you get under the gun, and you can't breathe, and you can't grip the club, and you can't execute anything, then you know how tough the game is.
That's a good pass. Come on, kick right.
Settle down.
Right.
That was the toughest, was waiting, because it was out of my hands. There's nothing I could do. That was tough. He missed the first two, and then I got down on my knees. I don't think I watched it. I heard the club, and I kind of looked up, and I just heard his reaction, and then I kind of knew.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
That's all right.
Sorry. You know?
It's all right.
I mean, it is what it is, you know?
That's what it is. You can't hit the green. Can't hit the green.
If you're looking for sad, you ain't gonna find it here. I had a great time. Had a great time. Figured I maybe could have got one more round, but I'm not as good as these guys. Gotta play more than I do.
He just wanted to deal with it in his own way. His own way was, you know, congratulations, y'all have a great time, but basically, you know, just go on without me, and I'm gonna leave here.
He got a little emotional, you know, when it came time for him to leave, and I got a little emotional. I mean, and I try not to show, you know, as much as possible and try to smile, but I hate to see the guy go, you know.
You know, I was talking to Steve on the side. I knew before he even hit the first ball in the skills challenge, his back was bothering him. And when it came down to this, I didn't even think he had one more swing left in him.
It's tough to watch, you know. I mean, we kind of could just see that happening, and we felt bad. You know, it's like, you know, if he had got to hit that shot in the morning, you know, or after warming up, I'm sure he would have knocked all 3 balls on the green because he was striping the ball in the range, hitting it really well. So it's just a matter of timing.
He hung in there. He hung in there like a champion. He hung in there like a fighter the whole week, and you got to respect that.
I am what I am now. I'm a decent amateur. That's it. And that's the way it'll be. There's too many good players in this group that need to go forward, that need the break.
He's one of the older guys who kind of is like a father figure to us. So we're going to be missing some leadership with Steve.
I think I had maybe one more escape in me, but I was done. I mean, I had him gauged. It was maybe one guy more, but that was it. This is the fun part. Just stuff it in. Doesn't have to be neat. Don't have to worry about anything. I knew once they got to the long iron shots that I was going to be in trouble. I don't get enough chances to practice that shot, and that's my weakest part. I just hit bad shots. That's all I can say.
Sir.
Next time on The Big Break.
The atmosphere is definitely changing. Everybody's getting a little quieter. I think guys are starting to look around and starting to figure out, who am I most worried about, or who would I like to see go next.
The competition takes a serious turn.
I know about where my golf game is at right now in comparison to, a couple of the top guys that are here. It does not mean that I won't win this competition.
Cut.
Time is running out for another competitor as the guys take aim at a new set of challenges.
I wouldn't have changed my strategy. If I had to do it over, I'd do the same thing. I'd take the aggressive route.
With elimination on the line, the pressure builds.
Sit down. Sit down. You gotta get down.
The strategies, I think it's gonna be changing.
Emotions run high in an unbelievable elimination challenge.
I was in shock. I was in shock. We were all very silent after that, just like, wow.
Next time on The Big Break.
This is about as far as I figured once I saw everybody play. This is about as far, because, like I said, these guys play constantly, and I just don't have the time for it, but, I'm happy with my performance, really happy with it. I mean, I didn't do as bad as I thought it would be. I'm just happy to be this far.